But I was training there last year, and I was at a place called Lamai Muay Thai, which is a Muay Thai camp in Koh Samui in Thailand. And I like, there's a guy called Jonathan Haggerty who's like one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world at the moment, in one, if not the best. And he was training there with us, and there was a bunch of different world champions there. And I literally just didn't even know what I was walking into. And then and I was training with like the noobs, because when you do that. And then we did some sparring, and there was a guy from Germany who had just like flown in, and like they made him train with the noobs, even though I didn't know this, but he had like 50 fights. And then we started sparring, and we was like going pretty hard, and like, I was landing a few on him, and he was touching me up a little bit. And then the coaches were like to me, "Oh, come and train with the fighters." So I was like, yeah. Only to realize that there was like freaking world champions everywhere, and all of these guys were just total savages. And you ask anybody who's trained in Thailand with like the Middle Easterners, and they just want to kill you, man. Like, you get in there and you'll start sparring, and there was this like little Turkish dude who was like this tall on me, and just freaking throwing head kicks. And like, I've got a boxing background, so I don't really know how to defend kicks that well. So he's throwing all these kicks, and I'm trying to defend and everything. I must have dropped a hand, and I just caught a shin right behind my head, and he concussed me. I stayed standing, but I was like, oh, when you know, you know. And like, I was real sick for the rest of the night. I wanted to vomit, and I had a badass headache for like the next 2 days. And then that's when I was just like, I can't do this. And like, but the problem is that I'm too competitive. So if I go into a gym, like a Muay Thai or a boxing gym, and
you want to get in, you want to do it.
I want to show the kids that I've still got it, bro. Like, I want to be like, I'm looking at them, I'm like, the old bull just like waiting at the gates. And so I want to spar. And it's like, when people who don't understand, I'll say like, look, imagine if you played like soccer and you went to training 3 times or 4 times a week, and then when game day comes, you can't play. Imagine how that would feel. It sucks. So whenever I get in there, like, I don't like just hitting the bags. And then there's always someone who notices that you've got a bit of skill, and then one of the coaches will come up and say, "Hey man, you want to come spar my boy?" And I'm like, if you say no, you just feel like the biggest pussy in the world. And it's like, so I'm just gonna stay out of the gyms from now on, until I have a little bit, like, maybe my testosterone drops and I have a little bit less sort of like ego,
My first Muay Thai fight, I got knocked out first round, and I was put on a medical suspension for 90 days so I can get a CAT scan, get cleared to go with my second fight. But in between that time, when I was on my medical suspension, there were still fights going on. There were still guys from my gym fighting, and I had to stand there and corner them, and it was just absolute torture, like you said, like, not, because you had your bell rung, so now you can't, and it's just right there in front of you. It's just absolute torture.
Yeah. And it's terrifying, and it's a long process, and it's all of that. But the actual feeling of getting in the ring and fighting, it's like a rush, and like a feeling that you just never get anywhere else than like just putting it on the line. It's like this primitive sort of like animalistic feeling that you get where you just about to go to war with another man, and it's like, oh fuck, like, it's not just in the modern world of comfort and ease and instant gratification, we just don't feel that. So it's like Fight Club,
It's definitely like, you're definitely 100% present. I don't know about you. Like, I guess with experience, you'll get to hear what your corner is telling you. I couldn't hear a thing. Like, it was just like, boom, everything else is gone, and it's just this guy and me, and just and that, like you just said, absolute rush.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's a rush. Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's an amazing feeling.